Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Bell, and this is To the Point, where we dive deeper into issues that are affecting the lives of Northern Californians. In tonight's main point, more than 9,000 people are experiencing homelessness in Sacramento County on any given night. It has some people concerned for their safety. And today, an ordinance went into effect that bans camping along sections of the American River Parkway. Now, another measure bans encampments from blocking sidewalks and business entrances. Tonight, Bridget Bijorlo is near McKinley Park to find out if these measures are actually being enforced.
It doesn't look that way, Alex. You can see several tents set up on sidewalks behind me here. We have seen no law enforcement come by asking the people inside them to move. This new measure prohibits camps that block sidewalk access like this. So in theory, the tents you're looking at are unlawful. But city and county officials have told us all along that their strategy in terms of enforcement is to encourage voluntary compliance, and citations are a last resort option. The ordinances are intended to limit camping to make it safer for everyone. There is a school just down the road from here, and a number of students walk through this area just to get to class. Parents say they can't do so safely right now, especially when they have to walk into the road just to pass by these encampments. It's why a number of parents are calling on elected leaders to enforce the newly passed measures.
Safety is always number one. And I am shocked that our city government, our leaders, have turned a blind eye to it. Open your eyes, look around, and we need to make sure people are safe.
But not everyone agrees that moving people experiencing homelessness from place to place is the answer here. We spoke with a number of homeless advocates who say we must first bring more affordable housing to the city and county.
And the only real solution is to build the housing, is to uplift and build the services. Right now, the services that the city and the county offer right now are not up to the scale that is absolutely needed for the amount of people who are living outside on a daily night.
This is just the first day of these ordinances officially being in effect, so time will tell to determine how enforcement goes moving forward. But I can tell you that people who live in these neighborhoods, they want to see action, and right now they say they're not seeing it.
And we also just got off the phone with Sacramento city officials, and they tell us that they will take the next 30 days to educate people living outside about what the new laws mean and how it will impact them. They are also bringing on new staff to help with this effort. And tonight, the Capitol Mall is packed. The city is living up to its name with the 9th annual Farm to Fork Festival, which is now underway. The festival stretches 4 city blocks, and organizers are expecting up to 100,000 people to be at this year's event. Visit Sacramento says that the city sits among 1.5 million acres of agricultural lands that grow more than 160 different kinds of crops. The Farm to Fork Festival is happening right around the corner from an ongoing United Farm Workers demonstration. The group has been there for 26 days in a row. They are calling on Governor Gavin Newsom to sign AB 2183, which would allow farm workers to send union votes by mail, allowing greater opportunity to organize. So I went out there today to ask UFW members what they want people to keep in mind as the festival gets underway.
I want people to know that, like, behind all the vegetables and fruits that they eat every single day, there is a long process of people working hard every single day in the heat, even sometimes crying being out there. I just want them to be mindful and think that every time that they eat, there was a farm worker that worked over 12 hours every single day.
We've been following the demonstration since it started. And about a month ago, the governor's office said it could not support the bill. We asked for an update just the other day, and they told us that they don't typically comment on pending legislation. And the intersection of farming, farm workers, and the community is something that the Farm to Fork Festival is going to be talking about tomorrow on a panel. A UFW member and Sacramento Mayor Pro Tem Eric Guerra will be a part of it.
And really right now, what the big policy conversation is about how we treat farm workers, what does it really take to get food, and then affordable food to families as well, and also just the sheer humanity of what it's going to take to feed folks. Yes, we love great food, we love the culinary arts, but the bigger issue that we have to have a conversation is about how do we support everyone that's involved in feeding America.
And the Farm to Fork Festival goes until 9 tonight and then runs from 11 to 9 tomorrow. You can catch that panel discussion tomorrow as well. That will be at 5:30 at the James Beard Stage Foundation. And tonight, we're also talking about banned books. You might be asking yourself, why bring this up now? Well, this week is the American Library Association's annual Banned Books Week. So the event launched back in the 1980s to draw attention to a surge of books that were being challenged in schools. And new reports show that there are a record number of banned books in school and libraries. So here's a look at the numbers really quick. Just over the past year, there were 2,500 books banned in more than 130 school districts. The ban spans across 32 states, but it does not include California. Of those books, more than 40% of the banned books cover LGBTQ plus themes. Genderqueer, a memoir about coming out as non-binary, has been called one of the most banned books in the country. And tonight, Van 2 shows us that a small nonprofit library in Sacramento is feeling a renewed sense of purpose by preserving the queer experience. So we're turning back the clock decades for this point in time.
Immunodeficient syndrome is epidemic. Awareness urged for gay men.
Holding a rare copy of the Sacramento Star in her hands,
We didn't know at the time what HIV and AIDS were.
Carrie Parsons says she's transported back in time.
These are historical artifacts. They are snapshots of what was going on at the time.
The newspaper for gay and lesbian Sacramentans circulated for about 2 years in the 80s.
It's one of my favorite covers.
It's just one edition of thousands in the Lavender Library's collection of queer newspapers and newsletters that circulated through Northern California.
It makes me feel proud for the people that have gone before me and were so brave to speak out and to publish these things, to be seen in the world at a time when it was not safe to do that.
The periodicals document the community's struggles, achievements, and culture, and the Lavender Library is on a mission to digitize and preserve the collection.
We've been fighting for a long time, and that we're going to continue to fight, and that our rights are valid, our lives are valid, our love is valid.
Board member Lennox Pescacona says they're passionate in preserving the periodicals for LGBT youth, as queer stories are censored across the country.
When we ban those books, we are telling people that those stories don't matter.
Pescacona says it was access to these type of books that helped them understand what it meant to be trans and helped them come out at the age of 24. With LGBT youth at higher risk of suicide due to mistreatment and stigmatizations in society, Pescacona says the Lavender Library's collection of local stories plays a vital role.
We want them to be able to know that they exist, that their existence matters, and that they do have a future here.
And the Lavender Library is fundraising to purchase a large-scale scanner and digital space, and they're also looking for partnerships to preserve these rare newspapers, Alex.
And Van, why is there a record number of banned books in schools and libraries? I mean, why now?
Well, Alex, our Verify team actually dug into this very topic. Books are being pulled in political moves from school board officials or even those up high in state government. Now, most of these book challenges come from local action and advocacy parent groups, which say they have parental rights to deem what is obscene for their children.
All right, Van, thank you. We appreciate it. Did you catch our special last night? Sacramento's deadliest plane crash happened just 50 years ago tomorrow. And right after the break, we're taking a look at the major changes that came out of this tragedy. Yesterday, we had a special edition of To the Point where we covered a crash that completely changed our city. A jet crashed into a Farrell's ice cream parlor, killing 22 people. But that crash also had some positive impacts on our community, and one of them being the creation of the Firefighters Burn Institute. And Joe Pick, who is the executive director, is here with me now. Joe, I want to say thank you first, because a large part of the reason why we were able to do this story was because with your help and support. So I greatly appreciate that. But I want to talk about the event that you guys are having tomorrow, because you guys will be honoring the victims' families of this crash. So can you talk about that event that's tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, September 24th at 10 o'clock, we're going to honor the 50th anniversary of the Farrell's plane crash. Memorialize and honor those that we lost, but also recognize the survivors, the first responders, the firefighters, the police officers that were there. Recognize that this affected a community. The neighborhood in that area was affected by this. This was a big deal in Sacramento. So it's really also to recognize all the people that it had an effect on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Firefighters Burn Institute, you guys do a lot of work, some of which we touched on, but you guys do run a camp every year. We actually went to that camp and we spoke to some of the kids that were there. So I want to hear from them first. So let's hear from them right now.
I gained so much being here, because being that young, you're struggling to understand why you can't do normal things other kids can do. And so when you come here, you kind of forget about that, and then you realize that stuff you thought you can't do, you can do.
One of my other campers right now, he's going through a lot, but I'm able to be there for him. I'm able to be that support system, because I know when I got in my accident, I had a huge support system, and that is something that is just really important.
So those are some of the kids that we met at the camp. Tell everyone a little bit about the camp who may not be familiar with it.
That particular camp we've been doing for 28 years. It's a camp for burn survivors 7 to 17 years old. Many of our counselors are burn survivors that were burn survivors as kids. They were campers for us, and now we're counselors and become mentors to them. And we do it for a week-long time, and we do events to get them connected with each other. A lot of them have not met people that have had a burn injury, so there's that commonality. And then we also do an event to take them out into the public, give them the strength of character to be able to go out in public, because they have that peer support with them.
And a lot of people will hear Firefighters Burn Institute and possibly think that you guys only help firefighters, but that's not true.
A very common thought, and I understand why. We certainly help firefighters, but we help any burn survivors, whether they come out of Shriners, they come out of UC Davis. We have burn survivors that find us that have never been to either of those hospitals, and yet hear about our adult programs, some of our outreach things that we do, and if they're a burn survivor that's out there, we're there to support them.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. And we do have the Firefighters Burn Institute information on our website, as well as our special edition of To the Point that aired yesterday. All you have to do is just go to abc10.com/tothepoint. After the break, we're hitting the back roads, and John Bartel is dropping us off in the middle of nowhere.
Sounds fun. Let's go. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Hey, to the middle of nowhere.
It's Friday, so you already know exactly what time it is. John Bartella is making us hit the back roads, and he's taking us to a little town of Darwin in the middle of nowhere to meet the desert dwellers who live just outside of Death Valley.
I have traveled to the middle of nowhere many times in California, but this place is desolate and hot. You better get all your text messages and calls in because there is no service out here. Absolutely none. At the westernmost edge of Death Valley, just before the national park entrance, there's a desert colony of sorts, known as Darwin. As you make your way into town, you're welcomed by a barrage of sunburnt shacks and abandoned trailer homes. At first, it looks like a ghost town, but I can assure you, people do live here. This is Larry the lifeguard, one of about 40 people who live in Darwin. And if you want to know why people call him Larry the lifeguard, you'll just have to follow him to his house, which is a little hard to see. So Larry, where is your house at?
I don't know. I have trouble finding it myself sometimes.
It's troubling to find because, like a number of Larry's neighbors, he lives underground. Would we technically be standing on right here?
The dining room table.
Hidden under some trees and several feet of dirt is Larry the lifeguard's 2,000 square foot desert oasis. And that helps you keep cool.
Don't you feel it?
It's way cooler underground.
Yeah.
Oh. According to Larry, it's about 20 to 30 degrees cooler underground, and this is where he likes to explain his nickname. Are you a real lifeguard?
31 years.
Where? There's not much water around here.
No, the beaches in Santa Monica and Venice.
Because he loves the desert, Larry bought some cheap land in Darwin, and when he was young, started building a vacation home out of recycled materials. Where'd you get these timbers?
Those are parts of the Santa Monica Pier.
Larry admits he isn't the first to come up with the idea of living underground. Old silver miners used to dig holes in the hillside to escape the heat.
1875, I think. There were 4,000 people living around here. Miners didn't mind living in holes in the ground.
Darwin was a silver mine named after Darwin French, a prospector who originally was searching for a mythical mine.
He was looking for the lost Gunsight mine, but what he found was the waterfall. And this area was named after him.
That waterfall is Darwin Falls, one of the few water sources in Death Valley, and that water supported all the mining operations in Darwin.
This was the second largest silver strike around here.
The old mine in town is still somewhat operational, but these days, artists and retirees outnumber the miners. You carved this?
This is carved, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you were like hammer?
Yeah, I have some other ones out here in the yard.
Drive around town and you'll see a number of Jim Hunnell sculptures, along with other paintings and oddities.
There's some chard here, some tomatoes.
And if you're looking for some fresh greens for your salad, stop by the Darwin Community Garden to talk to Tamara Myers, who retired from teaching in Santa Cruz to garden in the desert and get away from it all.
I was just done with my life. I mean, with that life, not with my life, but I wanted a big change.
Darwin may be hot, dry, and desolate, but that's how the people here like it. And if you find yourself visiting Darwin, I think you'll like it too. As long as you get here before the heat of the day sets in. From the little desert town of Darwin, I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the back roads. Man, it is hot out here.
We have a treat. John is here in the flesh. We love seeing you on a Friday, John.
And it's definitely hot in Death Valley, especially this time of year.
But how did you find this place in the middle of nowhere? Like, how did you find it?
You know, it's funny. So this one is actually a viewer suggestion here. I got a message on my Facebook, a picture of Darwin, and I was like, I have to go to this place. And honestly, like, these are some of my best stories come from the viewers here. And so I love getting those, especially on my Facebook or my Instagram. You can even text us now on our little text machine here. You get 916-321-3310.
Don't forget it. Now, if I do want to go to Death Valley, is there anywhere to stay or anything else to see?
Unfortunately, no, not a whole lot of camping, unless you're going to shack up with Larry the lifeguard there. I don't know if he's willing to, but, you know, it's really close to Death Valley, so you can add Darwin as a stop as you're going to Death Valley. It's also very close to many places along the Eastern Sierra. It's a great place to go.
Well, thanks for taking us there. We appreciate it. Thanks, John. All right, let's take a look outside and check out your weather here. Yo, number right there again, 916-321-3310. Great shot of you, John. I like that shot. All right, now let's head to the Gilmore backyard and take a look at your forecast here. Not too bad. Definitely seeing some nice weather as we get close into the weekend. Sacramento at 88 right now. Quick check of your 10-day forecast here. Looking pretty good. Today is California Native American Day, and it is something that's been celebrated for 55 years, but became an official judicial holiday last year after Governor Gavin Newsom signed it into law. There was a celebration at the Capitol earlier today, and we caught up with the writer of the FX series Reservation Dogs to see what it means to her and also the community.
We have the largest number of federally recognized tribes in the country, as well as a lot of state recognized and some unrecognized. And we also have the largest indigenous population in the country as well. Days like this, events like this are really important because it showcases that diversity and it showcases the resilience of tribal people in California.
California Native American Day is every fourth Friday of September. Make sure you let us know what's going on in your world. Make sure you shoot us an email at tothepoint@abc10.com. We finally made it. It's Friday. We'll see you guys on Monday.